Right, everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now this is an update on footballing matters, and just wanted to say a little bit about the signings and re-signings, if you like, of Sunderland, and the fact that we seem to be going forward with the signings that keeping the youth in the team, but also experience as well. And we've let quite a few go, and mostly in defence, which I'll get onto that later on. But excuse me. So first of all, I'll start off with what has delighted me as a signing wise for Sunderland, and that is the signing of Patrick Roberts. Now he plays on the wing predominantly, but he can also switch positions a little, support the front, the front line, for example. But I feel he's definitely best on the wing, and I think that this signing represents a big step forward for us, because when we're in League One, I think when we got Patrick Roberts in, I was like, wow, he's really a good player from Man City. Been in the Championship before with the likes of Derby and Middlesbrough. And also, when we got him in on loan initially, I thought it would just boost the side up and get us going forward a bit, and hopefully try and get promotion with him in the side. And that's worked out exactly that way. So I think that's enhanced our chances of getting Patrick Roberts back and on a permanent deal, which he signed a 2-year contract. So me personally, I'll just another year maybe. If he'd signed a 3-year, that would have been fantastic. But 2 years is really good. A really good player, quick. He's got loads of pace. He likes to take on his man. Gets down the wing, puts the crosses in and stuff, and also gets on the end of things as well. I mean, he scored that fantastic goal in the semi-final against Sheffield Wednesday, which got us to Wembley. So with that in mind, Patrick Roberts is a fantastic signing, and I'm over the moon with that. It didn't disclose the fee when I was reading the article, which was concerning him. So I don't know how much we signed him for, but it's not going to be all that much really. But it's a fantastic sign. He's 25. He's got many years ahead of him, I think. So, and hopefully with us, yeah. So, speaking of signings, now these are what I call re-signings, if you like. Renewing of the contract. And for me, I know it divides opinion with the fans, because you'll have about half of the fans saying, "Oh, Gooch is not good enough. He's this, that, and the other." I definitely think he is good enough. And with Alex Neil at the helm, Alex is bringing out the best of Gooch. And what that's doing is, it's enhancing his belief and his desire to make things happen, to try and do things, to be a bit more creative, like on the wing, which he can, and he's even played in defence before. He's played right back and stuff like that. But he's definitely best on the wing, I think. And I reckon that given the chance, he will prove that he's worthy of his contract. And that brings me on, speaking of worthy of the contract, this guy he's only a young kid. I think he's about 22, our goalkeeper, Anthony Patterson. This boy is really good. He proved himself for League One level last season, and I think he's proved himself beyond that level, if I'm honest. I definitely think he'll be an asset in the Championship. I think that we need to bring another keeper definitely in, because he's going to need backup in case he gets an injury, or he just runs out a bit of steam or a bit of form or whatever, which does happen from time to time. But he's only a young kid. He's got loads more to learn still, but the shots, his shot stopping is really good. He seems to read the ball well, read the player well, and he always looks calm and collected, which is like amazing. He doesn't like get ruffled and out like that. He just keeps himself composed, and it's brilliant to watch. So that's Patterson and Gooch. Now, signings that I would like to see happen. One is Nathan Broadhead. Now, we had him on loan last season from Everton, and I think when he got injured, he came to us on loan and he played really, really well. And then he got an injury, and that took him out for a good few weeks, couple of months even. And I think our form dipped a little bit. Well, it did dip a little bit, you know, when he got the injury. And I think it was definitely, he was part of that reason, big part of that reason. So Broadhead has gone back to his parent club. However, the years I've heard on the rumour mill, it's a wonderful thing, the rumour mill, but I've heard that, you know, there could be a chance of us getting them back. So if that's the case, then brilliant, because I definitely rate Broadhead. I think he would be an asset to the team in the championship. He's well capable of playing in the championship. Again, it comes back to stepping up to that level of the championship. We've got players in League One who I believe should never have been in League One. Never. You know, if there was any justice in the world, these players should never have seen League One. But we had we had the team back then that sent us down to League One, and they didn't, you know, didn't have that quality in them in the end to keep us up. But the likes of O'Nien, you know, you've got the likes of O'Nien, you've got Ross Stewart, our striker. You've got people, you know, like Pritchard, Embleton, you know, Corey Evans even, you know, I mean, all of these players, they belong at least championship level, and some, quite a few of them, could be above that. So, but we'll see. We'll not jump ahead of ourselves. You know, we're not like them up the road. We don't get too carried away with things. We'll just take it step by step and take it each way that we possibly can. The best way is the safe way, the proper way, the Alex Neil way. And that will be a saying you'll hear from me a bit more in future, the Alex Neil way. Because what he brings is a steadiness, a determination, a togetherness, and he's just seemed to got the players really wanting to play for him. I mean, when Patrick Roberts signed his contract, he says a big reason was because Alex Neil and the way that he, you know, commanded the dressing room and the way that he would talk to them and cajole them and get the best out of them and stuff. So when you've got a manager like that, and he has also been in the championship and gotten Norwich, I think it was, Norwich up to the Premiership. So he's got the, you know, he's got the experience, he's got the ambition, he's got the drive, he's got the quality. So the manager there in place with the players that we're getting in, and I would still like to see another 3 or 4 more come in, get to that in a minute. I think that will, you know, we can have a nice, very nice season. I'm expecting us, now I'm going to say it here and now on this video, so, you know, I hope I don't make a fool of myself by saying this, but I'm definitely expecting us to finish higher than 13th, but maybe it's not quite in the playoffs. I think about 8th, 9th to about 13th, something like that, and I think that will be a good season, get stable, steady the ship, get the players bedded in, and then bring another 1 or 2 quality in, then not this season but next, get up to the Premiership. Then that's my target, that's my personal aim and target. I think this season bed in, next season really make that push, you know. And I think things behind the scenes, the Curry lead, Dreyfus I'll call him, I keep getting his name mixed up there. So he's now got 51% shares in the club. Now what this means is he's now got control of the club, overall majority control, with Juan Sartori, who's got 30%. So altogether they have 81% of the club. So that tells me the club is going to go forward in, you know, it's like focused, it's one-minded, focused to go forward to get us back into the Premiership, which is where I believe we belong. Coming on to the re-signings again, we've got Bailey Wright is another one that I would love to see sign a new contract. There's still things going on there. You know, he hasn't signed his contract yet, but I believe he will. I think he will. Ross Stewart, you know, just to make sure we keep him, don't let him go, because Rangers are sniffing around. So we've got to make sure the likes of him and Bailey Wright, Embo, Pritchard, and the likes of O'Nien as well, really, you know, stay with us and keep with us. And I'd like to see Jack Clark come back to the club as well. I believe Jack Clark is, you know, a player that can do it. And Dejaku, I believe it was in his contract whereby if we got promoted, he would you know, that sets the clause away for him to sign for the club permanently if we got promoted. So yeah, so I'm over the moon with that, because I like the Xhaka. A little bit injury prone, he is, but overall I think he's got that. He's got, again, what I love in a winger. He's got pace. He can beat his man, and he can get down the wings and put crosses in as well. Just needs to show that a little bit more. Gets his chance this season to do that. Hopefully he will. Yeah, so I think overall, my estimations, like I said, for Sunderland would be round about 8th, 9th to around about 13th. And I think if that comes, you know, true, great. If we get higher than that, we end up in the playoffs and battling for promotion again, and then fantastic again. Another day at Wembley, you know. So we'll have another day at Wembley to hopefully celebrate. But in all honesty, I'm a realistic man. I don't bullshit. I don't, you know, try and say, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I believe this season, steady the ship. Next season, really make that push. I believe that we'll get a team together, and like I say, three or four more new signings, get that team together, get the nucleus really worked in, and then I think with Alex Neil as manager, we've got every chance of getting promoted with him. I believe that. He's a good manager, really good manager. Because I was, you know, a little bit sort of, I like Lee Johnson. Hell, I mean, yeah, I shook his hand at the match one time, because I was sitting right at the very front, near the touchline, and I shook his hand because I do like him. I thought, you know, overall he's a pretty good manager, but we were conceding far too many goals. You know what I mean? One game would win like 3 or 4-0. Next game we get hammered like 5-0, 4-0. You know, and that 6-0 hammering and drubbing, I think was Oxford. That was just like terrible. So yeah, but I like him overall. He's a good man, I thought, but he just tactics wise is not quite as astute as what Alex Neil is. Alex Neil is the finished article, and he's exactly what we need right now to get this club up where it belongs, I believe. So I'm going to end this video shortly. Just wanted to do a little quick update one for my YouTube channel, saying that I'm back, and I'm back in business. Because I know I've had a few people asking us, oh, when you're going to do another video, you know. But so I thought I'd do this one now and get us back up and running. Just want to say a couple of more things on the Sunderland front. One is money to spend. Now, I don't know how all this rules and regulations works and how much you can spend and how much you can't spend and all that. I know it's related to income coming in and what you generated, but I would love like a figure, an exact figure for someone to me, Peter, this is how much we can spend, so we'll work out our targets from that and then go forward. So that being the case, I'll try and look that up and see how much that is and work it out. But I mean, we've got Jack Roberts in, and I don't believe he costs that much really, you know, for a quality player like him. If we can get another 2 or 3 players like him, you know, one striker, goalkeeper and a couple of defenders maybe, if we can get the likes of that type of player in, 2 or 3 more of them, I think we'll be in a real good position to, like I said, push forward, and maybe with a squeak of playoffs, but I think we'll just fall short for this season, unless we sign some really, you know, real good quality players, like ex-Premiership players and stuff, you know, who might want to drop down for a season or 2. If that's the case, then I might review my estimations, but we'll see what it goes like. You know, we're only at the back end of June now. We've only just sort of the transfer market, and that's only just starting to bubble up. So we'll see what happens and see how many players and what quality players we get in. I do believe in Alex Neil that he's looking for certain players. He's not just looking to sign willy-nilly and, you know, and go, oh, yeah, he's available, get him. No, he's not like that. He's an astute manager, thinks about the game, concentrates on his pattern, his desire, his way forward, his strategies, and what you'll get then is a proper purpose and a not one-dimensional, but it's one-track vision of the way that he wants the club to go forward, and I believe that we'll get that. So I'm going to wrap this video up by saying that I'm absolutely buzzing with the Wembley performance that we've done. Most of the team is still together from that. You know, they've come back and they're looking fairly fit and what have you, raring to go. Pritchard, bless him, looked a bit knackered like when I was watching him in training. That was a bit funny to see. He's like really, you know, blowing hard and stuff when he's been running heavy and stuff. But it was a hot day, so you know, it might just be down to that. Because I know I love Pritchard a bit, and he runs about that pitch like a headless bloody chicken, and he never stops. He's a real good player. When I say headless chicken, I don't mean that in a bad sense. I just mean all he wants to do is run. You know, he just attacks and attacks, and he's focused on one thing, is to go forward and try and get that ball in the net, or give it to someone who can put it in the net. Yes. So I'm going to wrap this video up, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Now this, I'm going to try and do a video at least once every 3 or 4 days from now on in, and hopefully to the build up of the season, especially when I hear news and, you know, got things to say and that. But I don't just do videos just for the sake of it. I do videos that have a purpose and a meaning, and a little bit of comedy now and again. I haven't done that today because I'm more focused on getting, you know, proper message across. But there will be times when comedy videos will appear, that's undoubted. But yeah, so have a good one, everybody, and let's hope the lads can go forward as one and rise up from the ashes. Well done. Subscribe if you haven't already, and take care, and I'll see you on the other side.